Good morning, students. Today we will discuss few numericals on the basis of concepts we have already discussed. Let's take first numerical. Current flows through a constricted conductor. The diameter d1 is 2 mm and the current density to be left of constriction is given to be 1.27 into 10 raised to the power 6 ampere per meter square. What current flows into the constriction? Second point, if the current density is doubled as it emerges from the right side of the constriction, what is the diameter d2? See this figure, this has been shown here. Current flows through the constricted conductor. This is a conductor having different varying in this area of cross section. You can say diameter is varying. Now current density from the left of the constriction is given to be 1.27 into 10 raised to the power 6 ampere per meter square. Now we have to find what amount of current is flowing through this the constriction. Second point, if the current density is doubled as it emerges, when it will emerge out at this point, when the current density is doubled, then what will be the diameter? d2. So d1 is given, d2 we have to calculate. Now see, as diameter d1, this diameter d1 has been given and we have to calculate diameter of this constriction. Now current density is given and current density at the second, this constriction on the right constriction has been given to be twice of initial one. So first of all we have to calculate current, as current is current density into area of constriction. Now as current density has been given and area of the constriction will be pi d square by 4. D is the diameter. So here we will take the diameter d1. Now substitute the values 1.27 into 10 raised to the power 6 into 3.14 value of pi. Diameter is 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. Its square we will take as per the formula, divide by 4. Now in solving all these values, the result it will come out to be 3.987 ampere. This much current will flow through this conductor. Now as when the current is flowing, this current will be same for the steady flow of the current will be same at every cross section. So it means then you can take as per the formula that if current is equal, then the current density multiplied by area for both the constriction will be identical. Now as we know, current density at left constriction and area at the left constriction, this is pi d1 square upon 4, and current density at the right constriction is 2 times initial one into area of the right constriction pi d2 square by, it will be 4. Now you have to calculate d2 because d1 is given. Common factor let we cancel out. Now d2 square, it will be equal to d1 square upon 2. All other factors are cancelled. So here this implies d2 is equal to d1 by under root 2. So now 1 by under root 2 and diameter d1 is 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. So on solving it, the value here, this under root 2 is 1.7 and 1 by under root 2 when you are getting the values, so it will be 0.707 multiplied by into 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. So in solving it, it will come out to be 1.414. This is 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. So it will be 1.4 millimeter. Now next numerical. The external diameter of a 5 meter long hollow tube is 10 centimeter and the thickness of its wall is 5 millimeter. If the specific resistance of copper be 1.7 into 10 raised to the power minus 5 ohm meter, determine its resistance. Now let me solve this. As external diameter of a hollow tube, suppose this is a tube whose external diameter has been given and this is having thickness. This thickness has also been given to us and specific resistance of the material is given. You have to calculate resistance. So now external diameter, let it be d2 and it is given by 10 centimeter. This is 10 into 10 raised to the power minus 2 meter. Since thickness of it is given to be 5 millimeter, so this thickness that you can take it as 5 millimeter equal to 0.5 centimeter. So now internal diameter. So let internal diameter is d1 and this diameter will be obtained as 10 centimeter minus thickness 0.5. This multiplied by 10 raised to the power minus 2. This will be in meter. So it will be 9.5 10 raised to the power minus 2 meter. Now as we have to find area, then total area this will be pi. This will be, you can take it as r2 square minus r1 square. Now this will be equal to d2 square by 4 minus d1 square by 4. Either substitute r1 r2 or d1 d2. It depends upon you. So pi is 3.14. 4 is common. Diameter, external diameter 10 into 10 raised to the power minus 2 square minus 9.5 10 raised to the power minus 2 square. Then on solving it, it will come out to be 14.9 10 raised to the power minus 4 meter square. So now this area is known. Resistance is rho L upon A. What we have to calculate here? We have to calculate resistance. Resistivity is given to be 1.7 10 raised to the power minus 5 into length. Length is given to be 5 millimeter. Not millimeter, it is given to be 5 meter, and area we have obtained 14.9 10 raised to the power minus 4. So resistance comes out to be 5.7 10 raised to the power minus 5. So this will be the method by which you will solve. Simply formula is simple, but main thing you have to understand, you have to find the area of this region, because this external diameter is given, internal diameter you are calculating, so you will find the area of this wire whose wire resistance you have to calculate. So now next numerical. An arc lamp operates at 80 volt and 10 ampere current. Suggest a method to use it with 240 volt DC source. Calculate the value of electric component used for this purpose. Here, as the lamp operates at a voltage of 80 volt and the current is 10 ampere. So first of all, what will be the resistance of this arc lamp? This will be 80 upon 10, 8 ohm. Now, you have to suggest a method so that to use it with voltage. What will be the applied voltage? 240 volts. And source, calculate the value of component that should be used. So we have to operate that arc lamp at this particular voltage. So if this is an arc lamp, then let me take a resistance has to be connected in series, so that it must be operated at V dash, that is 240 volt. So now when we are connecting it, let this resistance is R dash and the resistance of arc lamp is R. So here R plus R dash, total resistance will be equal to voltage per unit current flowing through it. Being the resistance are connected in series, same current will flow. So now applied voltage, DC voltage is 240 and the current it is flowing, that is 10 ampere. So it is 24. Now R we have calculated. So what will be the value of R dash? 24 minus R. So it is 24 minus 8. This is 16 ohm. It means for arc lamp to operate at 240 volt source, we have to connect a resistance R dash in series so that it can operate properly. Let me take one more numerical. A wire of 10 ohm resistance is stretched to thrice its original length. Resistance has to stretched so that its length will become thrice that of original. What will be the new resistivity and new resistance? See, regarding resistivity, resistivity is independent of change of dimension. It only depends upon temperature. So it will have no effect when there is an increase or decrease of length or area of cross section of any of the resistance. So resistivity will remain same. Now we have to calculate new resistance. Let's see how. So now resistivity, it will remain unchanged as I have explained the reason. Now as when the wire is stretched, as this is a wire having area of cross section A and length L. When it will be stretched, what will happen? There will be increase in the length. So this increase in length is at the cost of decrease in area. So it means volume will remain to be constant. Volume is area into length. So A into L, this will be equal to A dash into L dash. Now from here, A dash upon A will be equal to L upon L dash. Since L dash, this is thrice that of original length, so it will be L upon 3L. So 1 by 3. Now you have to find new resistance, as new resistance will be rho L dash upon A dash, and the original resistance was rho L upon A. Let me divide these two equations. So R dash upon R, this will be equal to, rho will be cancelled out, L dash upon L into A upon A dash. So L dash is 3 times L, and area A upon A dash. A upon A dash will be 3. So upon 1, so it will be 9. L will be cancelled out. So it means R dash will be 9 times R. So now substitute the value of original resistance that was given to be 10 ohm as per the statement. So the new resistance will be 90 ohm. So this question was quite simple. Main concept here is that whenever the wire has to be stretched, there is a change in its area or the length, being volume to meaning to be constant. Now, next numerical. A cylindrical wire is stretched to increase its length by 10%. Calculate the percentage increase in the resistance. See, as wire has been stretched so that there is an increase in length. If L is the original length, then the increase is length is L dash will be L plus 10% of L. You have to find percentage increase, percentage change in resistance. So now L dash is, this is L plus 10 upon 100 into L. This will be, comes out to be L plus 0.1 L. So it can be taken as 1.1 L. So now ratio of length L dash upon L, this is 1.1. Now area, as volume is taken to be constant, so AL will be equal to A dash L dash. Now A upon A dash will be equal to L dash upon L. This will be again 1.1 as per this result. Now we have to find percentage increase in resistance, as original resistance is, this is rho L upon A, and the new resistance will be rho L dash upon A dash. So R dash upon R, this will be equal to L dash upon L into A upon A dash. When you will take the ratio, it will come out to be this one. Now L dash upon L, this is 1.1, and A upon A dash, this is also 1.1. So the multiplication, you are getting 1.21. So now what you have to find? Percentage increase in resistance. So that means R dash minus R upon R into 100, which you can further write as R dash upon R minus 1 into 100. So R dash upon R, from this result, this is 1.21 minus 1 into 100. So it will be 21%. So this is the percentage increase in resistance, that comes out to be 21%. Now next numerical. When a potential difference of 1.5 volt is applied across a wire of length 0.2 meter, area of cross section 0.3 millimeter square, a current of 2.4 ampere flows through the wire. If number density of free electron in the wire is 8.4 into 10 raised to the power 28 per meter cube, calculate average relaxation time, where mass of electron and charge on electron has been given. So as per the statement, V, I, A, length and number density of electrons have been given to you. So you have to calculate relaxation time. So as we know that current is given by A, N, E, V, D. As you have to convert it in terms of relaxation time, then substitute the value of drift velocity also. So it will be a n e square e tau upon m. Now tau it will be equal to, this will be m I upon a n e square into e, where E is the electric field. See, this electric field is not given as per the statement, but electric field is V upon L. Now potential difference as per the statement is 1.5 and the length of wire is 0.2. So electric field is 7.5 volt per meter. So the relaxation time, it will be obtained by substituting the values here. Mass of electron is 9.1, 10 raised to the power minus 31 kilogram. Current it has been given to be 2.4 ampere. Area of cross section is 0.3. This was in millimeter square. So I will convert it into meter square, 10 raised to the power minus 6. Then number density of electron 8.4, 10 raised to the power 28. And electronic charge is, this is 1.6, 10 raised to the power minus 19 square. And what is left? Electric field. This is 7.5. So this is the calculation part you have to do. When you will solve all this, you will get 4.51 10 raised to the power minus 16 second. So simply you can see here, this is formula based question. As current density you have to, current you have to take in terms of drift velocity, but relaxation time has been asked, so you have to convert, you have to substitute the basic values so that you can directly obtain the formula for relaxation time. So on substituting the values, you are getting the answer. Now next numerical. A 60 coulomb charge flows through a wire in half minute. The radius of wire is 1 millimeter. The wire contains 5 into 10 raised to the power 22 electron per cubic centimeter. Calculate current and drift velocity. As per the statement, a charge flowing that is given to be 60 coulomb through a wire in time of half minute, that means 30 seconds. And the radius of the wire is 1 millimeter, it means 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 meter. And wire contains number of electrons, that is 5 into 10 raised to the power 22 per cc. You have to convert it into, per cc means per cubic centimeter. When you have to calculate in per meter cube, so you are getting per meter cube. So now what you have to obtain? Current. As current is charge per unit time. Charge is 60, time is 30. So directly you are getting current to be 2 ampere. Now drift velocity, I is equal to A N E V T. Simply now the formula is known to you. Then drift velocity is I upon A N E. So now as area is pi r square, now substituting the values, current is 2, pi is 3.14 or 22 by 7, radius is, this is 10 raised to the power minus 3, it's square. N, this is number density, that is 5 into 10 raised to the power 28 into electronic charge, that is 1.6 10 raised to the power minus 19. So you have to solve it. On doing the calculation, it will come out to be 7.95 10 raised to the power minus 5 meter per second. So although this is a formula based question, so you have to understand what are the given parameters and what steps you have to do to solve it. Now one more numerical. Resistance of platinum wire of resistance thermometer at ice point is 5 ohm and its steam point is 5.23 ohm. When the thermometer is inserted in the hot bar, the resistance of the platinum wire is 5.795 ohm. Calculate the temperature of bar. See, this kind of question when we are observing, this is a question where concept of temperature has been used. Now you have to see which particular formula we can use here when there is a concept of temperature. So it means in here we are using the effect of temperature on resistance. Now as the resistance at ice point, this is given to be 5 ohm, and at the steam point, steam point is 100 degrees Celsius, it is given to be 5.23 ohm. And when the thermometer is inserted in the hot bath, resistance at that particular temperature, it was given to be 5.795 ohm. So it means resistance is varying. As the temperature is increasing, the resistance is also varying. Now what you have to do, you have to find the temperature at which resistance becomes to be 5.795 ohm. So basically, as we have done the concept of temperature coefficient of resistance, but here temperature coefficient of resistance has not been specified. No information regarding that. So let we take at RT minus R naught, that is equal to R naught alpha T. So now as per this formula, as initially at 100 degrees Celsius, resistance is given to be this one. So we will convert it as R100 minus R naught. This is R naught alpha T. Let it be equation 1. Now resistance at T degrees Celsius, that is a temperature which we have to calculate, minus initial resistance, this will be again equal to R naught alpha T. We can take this as 1 and this as equation 2. So let we divide equation 1 and 2. So RT minus R naught divide by R100 minus R naught. This will be, comes out to be, this is your. Now one more important point. Here this temperature change, as initial temperature was 0 degree. So it is R naught alpha, change is 100 minus 0. So it is R naught alpha into 100. So basically when you will divide here R naught alpha T, then R naught alpha into 100. So it will be T upon 100 degrees Celsius. Now here these factors are cancelled out. So you have to calculate the temperature. Now it's quite simple. RT has been given. This is 5.795 minus initial was 5. R100, that is resistance at 100 degrees Celsius, is 5.23 and initial resistance is 5. So it is T by 100. So T, this will come out to be, now you will solve it by cross multiplying. Then one you will get, this is 100 multiplied by, this is 0.795 divided by 0.23. On solving it, it will come out to be 345.65 degree Celsius. So basically in this numerical, what you have to focus, basic concept, as this is resistance is related with the temperature. So when temperature has to be changed, then you have to use this concept. See here, this temperature coefficient of resistance, that is not required, because when we are taking the ratio, this is cancelled out. So by observing the statement, it is directly clear to you that there is a correlation between temperature and resistance. So that different, that concept enables us to use this particular result. Now although by just observing, by getting this formula, now it's quite simple how to solve the various steps. Now one more last numerical I am taking today. The heating element of an electric toaster is of nichrome when a very small current passes through it at room temperature, that is 27 degrees Celsius. Its resistance is 75.3 ohm, that is for the nichrome wire. When toaster is connected to 230 volt supply, the current settles after a few seconds to a steady value of 2.68 ammeter. What is the steady temperature of nichrome element? Whereas temperature coefficient of nichrome over average temperature range is 1.7 into 10 raised to the power minus 4 per degree Celsius. This numerical, this is of NCERT exercise. This is involving the concept again of temperature coefficient of resistance. So let's see, this is formula based question, how to solve it. Now see here, as the heating element is of nichrome wire, this is carrying a small current, and the room temperature, that room temperature is given to be 27 degree Celsius. And the resistance at this temperature, this is R1, this comes out to be 75.3 degrees Celsius. We can take it as R0 because as per the formula we are using. Now it is connected to a voltage source of 230 volt. Then a steady current start flowing, that is 2.68 amp. ampere. Now, what is the steady temperature of the element? Where temperature coefficient of resistance is given to be 1.7 into 10 raised to the power minus 4 per degree Celsius. Now here again, as we require resistance of the wire, so resistance of the wire, this can be obtained by voltage per unit current. As voltage is 230 and the current is 2.68, so resistance it will be 85.8 ohm. Now again, we know that RT, you can take it as RT minus R0. This is equal to R0 alpha into T. That is a change temperature. What will be the difference of temperature here? Now what you have to find here, what is the steady temperature of nichrome wire? You have to calculate this temperature. So this is RT minus R0 upon R0 into alpha. So RT temperature is resistance, this is a resistance, this is 85.8 minus initial resistance is 75.3, and the initial resistance here again I am substituting, and along with alpha, this is 1.7 10 raised to the power minus 4. On substituting all these values, this comes out to be 822 degree Celsius. See, this is the temperature we are obtaining. But actually now you can see at this initial temperature that we were taking, that was not 0 degrees Celsius, that was 27 degrees Celsius, and final temperature which we are taking at T, that is we have to calculate. So here this T which we have taken, let me take it as T, we can take it as T dash here. Why? Because this T represent basically the change of temperature from initial to final value. So here T will be equal to T2 minus T1, that is T dash minus 27. So now T dash minus 27 is 822 degrees Celsius. So T dash will be 822 plus 27 and it will come out to be 849 degree Celsius. So basically in this numerical also you can see here what is the new concept we are applying, that here we are using the concept of temperature coefficient of resistance. That means RT minus R0 equal to R0 alpha T. This will be taken as a standard result. So as per the statement what we have done, we have calculated the resistance at that particular temperature, we have to calculate. Then correspondingly applying the formula, we have calculated the difference of temperature. Now as we can see, initial temperature is not 0 degrees Celsius because room temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. So the final temperature you have to calculate. So this will be taken as T2 minus T1. I have taken it as a separate step, but you can take it as a step like this. Here also you can take directly as T2 minus T1. It's not necessary that you will go as per like this. Directly you can take the temperature as T2 minus T1 or T minus 27 degrees Celsius. Directly you can mention. So this is all for today. As we have taken numerical on the basis of concept we have done, that is drift velocity, relaxation time, average relaxation time, and this temperature coefficient of resistance and resistance factors and all. So you have to give more practice to a few more numericals so that you will be able to understand the statements and solve it. Basically what you have to do, you have to go to solve numericals, especially you will read the statement. Don't go to the solutions directly, read the statement. If it is not clear, read it twice, find out the given parameters which are known to you, and then try to find out which particular formula you can apply there. Then you will be able to understand the method by which you can solve the numerical. After solve numerical, then you can go to unsolved numerical. So by this way you will be able to solve more and more complicated numericals also. So thank you. Have a nice day.